Hey guys, what's up? Dr. W here, and welcome to the last installment of my Let's Rank Eminem album series. If you want to see parts 1, 2, or 3, be sure to click the eye icon up here in the top right to check out the cards for those, and just click on them and it'll send you through to the videos. Or if you want to wait for all of them to post as a complete episode at the end of the week, you can do that too. If you're watching this, please like, share, sub, comment, do all that good stuff. And before we get into the final two today, let's just recap what we've done so far. Number 10 is Revival with a 47. Number 9 is Encore with a 79. Number 8 is Marshall Mathers LP2 with an 80. Number 7 is Relapse with an 81. Number 6 is Slim Shady LP with an 82. Number 5 is Music to Be Murdered By with an 82. And the reason Music to Be Murdered By is above Slim Shady LP is because Slim Shady LP had less possible points than Music to Be Murdered By, and therefore Music to Be Murdered By had more room to fail, but it held its own, got an 82 as well. That's why it's number 5. Number 4 was Recovery with an 84, and number 3 was Kamikaze with an 86 with 22 possible points. Now, the way we are doing this is we are reviewing each song on the album. And the songs need to get a 0, a 1, or a 2. A 0 means it is not on my Eminem playlist. A 1 means it's on my Eminem playlist, but I skip it about half the time. And a 2 means it's on my Eminem playlist, and I don't skip it, usually. Okay, and then we take an average of all those. Now, without further ado, let's hop on into this with the second best Eminem album, according to me, Marshall Mathers LP. The first song on Marshall Mathers LP is Kill You. It's a great way to open an album. It sets the tone. This is Slim Shady at his best. It's just energetic, violent, and it's just everything. Everyone who likes Slim Shady loves this side of Slim Shady. Next up is Stan. This is Eminem at his best storytelling. These two back-to-back Kill You is Slim Shady and Eminem at his best, in the zany, violent, aggressive zone. And then Stan is Eminem at his best in the storytelling, elaborate, get you hooked in the narrative type zone. So I gave it a 2 as well. Next up is Who Knew, which I gave a 2 as well. And I'm pretty sure I remember watching this in a... No, never mind. That's the next song. So anyways, Who Knew is, a good introspective about what's happened in Eminem's life so far. Who knew he would become this huge star and touch all these children, and make them, act like him. And it's really, it looks within him. And it's a good, aggressive song, but also introspective, and I like that a lot. Next up is The Way I Am, which I was about to tell the story for. I saw this in a documentary or something, I think, where The Way I Am was the second to last song recorded for the album, and The Real Slim Shady was the last song recorded for the album. And the producers and the record label and all that wanted Eminem to do another song like My Name Is. And he was really, trying to write that type of song. And instead of writing a song like My Name Is, he came out and wrote The Way I Am, which is kind of like the anti My Name Is. He's like, I'm not this, poppy guy who's going to be up on the radio station a lot. I'm this aggressive rapper. And that's why The Way I Am came out the way it is. And I gave it a 2. So next up is The Real Slim Shady. Everybody loves this song. I can't think of a person who hates The Real Slim Shady who's a fan of rap, or at least Eminem rap. So clearly had to give it a 2. I always listen to it when it comes on. Next up is Remember Me. I think this is one of the weakest songs on the album. And hold on, let me just take a quick scan here. Probably my least favorite song on Marshall Mathers LP. It's just, I don't like the features that much. Eminem's great on it, but you have to sit through some less than stellar features to get to him. Let's just say that. So I gave it a 1. Next up is I'm Back. I don't know what to say about I'm Back other than I love it. It's another one of them. It's the theme of this album. It's an aggressive song, you know. It's this Eminem at his finest when it comes to aggression. And I really enjoyed that about his music. You know, it gets you amped up. So I gave I'm Back a 2. Next up is Marshall Mathers. This is another great song that's a mix between aggression and introspectiveness. I hope that's the right form of that word. Don't quote me. And I don't know, it's really just telling about, you know, how far he's come in the year or two it's been since Slim Shady LP to this album. Next up is Drug Ballad. I think it's a fun song. And I almost gave it a 2. But, I don't know, it's right on that threshold. And I felt like there's so many greater songs on the album that it just... This one kind of shows that it's a lesser song than Eminem's capable of at, you know, the moment he made Marshall Mathers LP. So for that reason, I gave it a 1. Next up would be Amityville. This one is saved for me by Eminem's second verse, which is the last verse of the song, because Bizarre has some weird fucking verse in the middle that ruins the song. Personally, at least. And the aggression that Em brings at the end, I think the chorus is kind of catchy. So, you know, the aggression in Em's last verse, the catchy chorus, I think brings it up. And I gave it a 2, actually, because I'll listen to it just to get to that last Eminem verse, you know. Next up is Bitch Please. It's another one where this might be blasphemous, because the people on Bitch Please are a lot better than the people on Remember Me. But Bitch Please also seems like I'm sitting through some less than stellar verses to get to a great Eminem verse at the end, you know? And for that reason, I gave it a 1. I skip it a lot when I'm listening to my Eminem playlist. It's not one of my favorites. Next up is Kim. I love this song, and I don't know if how many of you know this, but on the clean version of the album, Kim's not even on the album. They replace it with this this song where, you know, Eminem's being Mr. Mackey from South Park's like drugs are bad and okay. And I don't even know the fucking name of the song. I haven't heard it that many times because I only listen to the explicit versions. And so that's a fun piece of trivia if you didn't know that. Kim is not even on the clean version of the album because they would have had to cut so much out of it. And I really enjoy it. That video on YouTube where it's that guy going into the studio to record Kim, and one of his buddies is playing Dre, you know, showing Dre's reaction to it. That video is hilarious. I recommend you checking it out. You should probably do Eminem Kim skit or whatever. It might come up. And it's funny, and I love the song. It's a lot of aggression, a lot of feeling in it, even though it's murdering your baby mama type feeling. But still, it's very enjoyable to listen to, at least for me. Next up is Under the Influence featuring D12. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this one. Eminem's verse is fine. It's not great to save it like it is on Amityville. And I gave it a 1. I skip it a lot when it comes up, just because I know you're gonna get a mediocre M verse, and then D12 are gonna give you, they're not Royce da 5'9" Slaughterhouse lyrical, and some of their verses do fall apart, so it's not as enjoyable to listen to. So I gave it a 1. And lastly is Criminal, one of Eminem's best songs, a great way to end the album, especially after it starts off with Kill You. Just a great cap on the whole thing. It has some of Eminem's best lines in it. He's delivering at his peak here, really, on Criminal. And for that, I gave it a 2. I'll probably never skip this song when it comes on, honestly. So, with that being said, there's 28 possible points for Marshall Mathers LP. It got 24, giving it an 86. Tying it with Kamikaze, but since Marshall Mathers LP had more possible points, it gets the leg up, putting it at number 2. So without further ado, that leaves us with my favorite Eminem album. And I don't know how controversial this will be. I feel like most people's favorite is Marshall Mathers LP. but I feel like this might be a common second, so it might not be that controversial. So my favorite Eminem album is The Eminem Show. So let's hop on into that one. And remember, if you're still with me, and you haven't, decided to never watch any of my content again because I'm wrong, please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and interact with the video. Send it to your friends if they like Eminem, see what they think of my list. Be sure to post your list in the comments or whatever you want to see me do Let's Ranks to in the future. I'll be sure to check those out and, discuss some things with y'all if you want. And now, let's get into the Eminem Show. First song on this album, White America. Another song talking about Em and how he feels like his place in like pop culture is and how influential he is to everybody. And on top of being a great fucking song, it also has like that introspectiveness that I look for, and because of that I gave it a 2. Next up is Business, which is a fun Eminem song. It's one of his best songs. The second verse on Business is probably my favorite, one of my favorite Eminem verses. I mean, I could probably go back and forth on this depending on, the weather, but it's one of my favorite Eminem verses, and it's just a great song. It's fun, and that's, what you come to Eminem for. Next up is Cleaning Out My Closet, an emotional and introspective song, one that I relate to a lot, one that, helped me out in my childhood listening to it, getting some aggression out that way. And, it gets a 2 probably without any of that personal stuff attached to it. But even with that included, it definitely gets a 2, Next up is Square Dance. I love Square Dance. I love the, anti-Bush lines in it. I always enjoyed that side of Eminem growing up. That's why I love Mosh. I love Square Dance. I forget what diss track, or it might have just been a normal track he's on. He was like, I square dance because I'm sick of rapping circles. It's a great line, and I love this song. And, it gets a 2, it gets you amped. Or, most Eminem songs get you amped, and this is definitely one of them. Next up is Soldier. This one might have gotten a 1 for me, but I bumped it up to a 2. I probably skip it less than half the time, so by criteria's sake, it does get a 2. I just feel like maybe the chorus weighs it down a little bit for me, but anyways. Next is Say Goodbye to Hollywood. I mean, it's an okay song, mediocre. It gets a 1 because I'll probably skip it more often than not. It's not the worst song on the album. I think the worst song on the album is definitely the song that comes after Say Goodbye to Hollywood. So it's just mediocre, and that's why it gets a 1. Next up is the worst song on the album, Drips, featuring, it's featuring Obi Trice, right? I think it's featuring Obi Trice. I hate Obi Trice's verse. That's the reason I fucking hate it. I skip it almost, if I can, and this song comes on and I feel like listening to it, I will skip Obi Trice's verse because it is god-awful. I hate that fucking, the whole, pussy analogy with sour cream dip. It's just disgusting to even think about. Maybe that's what he's going for in the verse, but it's hard to listen to, and it ruins the song for me, so I gave it a 1. Because I might listen to it every now and then just to skip to the Eminem verse. Next up is Without Me. Maybe the best song on the album. Without Me it's definitely a banger. If nothing else, that's what Without Me is. And it's great. I love listening to it. It gets you amped up. Don't know what else to say. Next is Sing for the Moment. An inspiring and introspective Eminem song. Helped me out in my childhood a lot. Still helps me out every now and then. I listen to it every time it comes on. It goes on for a bit at the end of the Aerosmith guitar solo, but I like Aerosmith. I'll listen to the solo. That doesn't hurt it at all for me, so definitely like that song. Next is Superman. Also probably maybe the best song on the album. One of Eminem's best songs. One that I know, at least everybody I know who listens to rap and listens to Eminem knows Superman. It's a great song. Next up is Haley's song. While it's meaningful, and while Eminem's rapping verse at the end is great, his singing for most of the song really does bring it down a little bit for me. Though it's probably his best song that he sings on, obviously. It still gets a 1. Next is When the Music Stops. I think it's featuring D12, though I don't think all the members on it. I might be wrong about that. I think it's featuring D12. And I don't know, this is a great D12 song. Unlike Under the Influence, which we talked about earlier, this one, everybody shows up, gives a great performance, and Eminem's verse is better than it is on Under the Influence as well. So I gave it a 2. Next is Say What You Want, featuring Dr. Dre, and I love this song. I love Em and Dre on a song, especially when they're going back and forth. I love the aggression in it, and it just gets you amped, And probably the Eminem song that gets you most amped is Till I Collapse. Immediately recognizable, the instrumental is for this. The chorus featuring Nate Dogg, the late Nate Dogg, he was great. Nate Dogg's great on any song he's on. He's especially great on this one. Eminem's verses are, peak Eminem. He really delivers on this. And just listen to how many times, UFC fighters walk out to Till I Collapse. It's a song that gets you amped. It's going to want, get you into the gym. It will make you better your life. You're listening to it, But, all jokes aside, it's a great song. Gets a 2. Lastly, My Dad's Gone Crazy. I love this song as well. I think it's funny that Haley features on it. Eminem's, again, at his peak rapping, this is clearly what Eminem's at his best. I think Eminem's best rapping and lyricism is on the 8 Mile soundtrack, personally. And that came out around the time Eminem Show came out as well. So Eminem's still in that, zone. He's in his zone. This is, that's why I think Eminem Show's his best album. This is clearly him at peak performance. So, there are 30 possible points for Eminem Show, and it gets 27 of them, earning it a 90. Putting it, I think, clearly at number 1. So, let's just run through this real quick. One last time, top to bottom. Bottom to top, actually. Fuck me. Revival gets a 47 and is in 10th place. The only bad Eminem album, I think. Next up is Encore with a 79. Marshall Mathers LP 2 with an 80. Relapse with an 81. Slim Shady LP with an 82 and 28 possible points. Music to be Motored By with an 82 and 34 possible points. And I think those 5 are good Eminem albums. Next up is Recovery with 84 points. Kamikaze with 86 points and 22 possible points. Marshall Mathers LP with 86 points and 28 possible points. And the Eminem Show with 90 points. And now I think that those 4, Recovery through Eminem Show, are great Eminem albums. So, if you like this list, please, or if you like me talking about it, you don't have to agree with the list to enjoy the video, right? We can be civil here. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share. And talk about what other Let's Ranks you want in the comments. Talk about your lists. I'll be sure to engage with all of y'all who comment. I'm looking forward to that. And before we end, I thought it'd be fun if we discuss Eminem's phases and where he stands at, according to me at least, right now. So his first phase is 98 through 04. So that's Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, Eminem Show, and Encore. And Encore with a 79, Slim Shady LP with an 82, Marshall Mathers LP with an 86, and Eminem Show with a 90. If you average all those together, you get an 84 for his first wave. Second wave, 09 through 2017, which is Relapse, Recovery, Marshall Mathers LP2, and Revival. And Relapse with an 81, Recovery with an 84, Marshall Mathers LP2 with an 80, and Revival with a 47. And if you average all those together, you get a 73 for his second wave of music. And I think it's really hurt by Revival. If you put out an album on par with those other 3, it would probably be closer to the 84 of his first wave. And now for his second wave, which is 2018 to the present, we have Kamikaze with an 86, and Music to Be Murdered By with an 82. And if you average those together, you get an 84, which is, the average that his first wave got. So fingers crossed that he can keep up this same level with whatever he drops next. I really hope he keeps putting out an album, once every year or 16 months. That would be dope. But if he needs to take 2 or 3 years to craft his next album, that's fine too. Though I would advise Eminem to probably cut some of the singing or sappier love songs out of his album. Just so, we don't end up with a situation like Revival. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. And be sure to check out parts 1, 2, and 3. Be sure to check out the full discussion video that I'm going to post later this week. And be sure to check back for other content. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.